Happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy week of love.
The week of love.
Congratulations if you're in a relationship. If you're not, welcome to Galentine's week.
Yeah. Also, congratulations.
Yeah. Honestly, even more.
Yeah.
Take that.
Take that.
Okay, this is our 2-year anniversary.
Oh my gosh.
I
think. 2 though, or is it 3?
I don't know. Okay, so I moved here in... I always look to you when I'm wondering how long I've lived in Nashville.
I think it is 2.
I moved here in 2021. What year are we in?
2025.
Oh.
Wait a minute. You moved in 2021?
No, I moved to Dallas in 2021. I moved to Nashville in 2022.
Okay. And you moved in October.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have met February 2023.
And that's
2 years ago.
2 years.
So
happy 2 years.
Happy 2 years. It feels like so much longer than 2 years.
It does.
I wonder if that's just like friendships as you get older.
Yeah.
You just feel like you've known them forever because you know who you are more.
Like, how did I not do life without you before? I don't understand. We were talking about earlier, how did we go through calling off weddings together basically at the same time and not have each other to compare notes?
I know.
Talk through things.
Could you imagine how different that would have been? Like if we were both in the same boat of wanting to call off a wedding.
It would have been so helpful.
That would have been so fun, low-key, if we like both decided to do it and then move somewhere together.
That's so true.
I know. We literally did the same thing, just in different states, not knowing each other at basically the same time.
Like, zoom out for a moment, like, just above Earth. Work with me here. Like, there's a million. How many people are in the United States?
I think a couple billion.
Billion?
Yeah.
With
I
a
don't
B?
know. Yeah. Google it.
Googling.
Schmoogle it.
How many people live in the 334 million.
Oh, okay. Not that much.
Okay. Okay. Russia's 143 million. Okay. So like zoom out for a second and just think there's 2 gals right now that are working through the same trauma right now and about to just escape from where they're living just to get away and start over.
Yeah.
And they don't know each other and one day they will. And like so many things in life will have to happen for their paths to cross and it does.
God is so cool.
Like what? Like we've talked about this before, but I almost didn't go to that party.
Yeah.
You almost didn't go to that party. It wouldn't have mattered if one of us didn't go. It wouldn't have mattered. But like, crazy.
I know. And I know I've told you this before, but like literally the week before I was praying for Christian friends in Nashville because none of my friends that I'd made here were Christian. And I just really was wanting that. And then I got invited to that party that was held by a Christian girl. So I was like, I should go meet some people. And I met you. And like literally... we have such similar stories. We have such similar lives. We fit so well together.
Yeah.
And God was just like waiting for me to ask.
So
And then he did it.
And I didn't ask. I'm sure maybe I didn't.
I'm sure it would have happened even if I didn't ask. But like.
No, that's an answered prayer.
The timing of it was really cool.
Yes. And we both dabbled in the wine game. So it's not like, weirdos. We were like.
We were the only ones that drank wine at the party, which is how we initially connected.
Yes. If you didn't hear our initial story, which I think is the first episode ever.
Yeah, it is our first episode.
I was moving throughout the building, trying different spots, different groups of friends. I think you thought you would know everyone at the party. I think I only thought I would know a few.
Mm.
So I bopped, didn't have good feelings with certain experiences. So then I literally told myself, oh, it was so sad. I think about that, Carly. It was like a movie. I was like on the edge of this friend group and they completely shut me out, like physically with their bodies. They just like turned away as I was in their conversation. And I was just at the end in the dining room.
There's literally nothing worse than that.
I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but it was just however old I was at that age.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's talking to each other.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you supposed to do? You just kind of have to wait it out until someone notices you or just like go somewhere else. And
there's only so many pigs in a blanket you can eat and like, talk to those pigs in a blanket or like make commentary to nobody in particular about how much food is on the table. Like that's what I was doing. Yeah. So I literally look at the bar stools and I get up and I sit down and I just sit there alone. And then I see this girl walk up, grab a glass, grab a bottle and just pour. And I commented on her pour, and the rest is history.
And here we are now.
And here we are.
So this should be your sign to go to a Galentine's Day party if you've been invited to one this year. Just go to things where you don't know anybody. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and be yourself and be open and don't be ashamed of your story either. Like, you said you never really open up about your story, and you did. And, like, little did you know, the person right across from you hasn't met one soul that's also called off her wedding.
I know. That was crazy.
Like, I didn't meet one person. I wish we could go back and watch it. Just like on a quick little TV. Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be so cool. Because I remember the feeling when you were talking about it, and I was like, do I interrupt her? Did my mouth drop? Is it obvious I share that? Or is it just like, do I look like I'm just enjoying the drama? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't remember. I don't remember what your face was, but look at us now. Now we have a podcast and a whole group of little Tuesday tears.
Yeah, we still need to think about Tuesday tears.
Yeah, Tuesday tears kind of sounds like you're crying on a Tuesday. I like maybe sippers.
Ooh,
or sippers.
Yeah.
We're trying to think of a name for our community. A few of you guys sent in a few good ones, but nothing's really stuck quite yet. But we'll
there's
figure
really
it out.
only so many directions we can go. Like steepers just feels a little aggressive. Mm-hmm. Teacups feels condescending.
Tea bags doesn't sound great.
Tea bags feels a little not great. Yeah. There's options though. We'll keep considering.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about wedding stories, as it is the week of love. Some are good, some are bad, some are funny, some are heartwarming, some are just awful. Mm-hmm. So no matter what stage of love you're in, you're going to be entertained by these stories, I would say.
Yeah. I was really thinking like the wedding drama I really want is like the groomsman and the bridesmaid.
Oh.
Go into the elevator or something like
spicy stuff. Yeah.
I didn't get any of those. I got some interesting ones. They are crazy.
Yeah.
We got so many entries.
So many. I think this was the most out of anyone.
Yeah. I mean, everyone goes to weddings.
Yeah. As we're talking about weddings, you had most of your wedding planned, right?
I had everything planned except my dress wasn't altered.
So looking back on the wedding that you had planned, would you keep it the same?
No.
No? What would you change?
If my future husband would be open to it, I would love to do Italy. Just a week in Italy at an estate and just have the time of our lives with all our favorite people in the world. And it not be like a week of festivities, but just come early, stay, hang out, and really take the pressure off of the itinerary. Itinerary meaning the day itself and the flow. Like, again, there has to be a flow, but just really like
a relaxed atmosphere, not like every minute by the minute. There's a schedule. Yeah.
I think being in Italy just automatically kind of removes that pressure and that like strictness. I think the one part about having an Italian wedding or European wedding is it could make some people financially uncomfortable, and I would never want to do that, especially if you're close to them. So they're like, oh, if I'm best friends with them or really good friends with them, I feel I must go and I actually don't have the finances. That is the only thing that makes me not want to do it. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like that's the vibe. Also, it'd be so fun just to get there, like, again, a few days early with the bridesmaids, hang out, be at the pool, go wine tasting, just like hang out with all your favorite people and just celebrate versus one night for $45,000.
I feel like the fact that you're in Italy automatically makes the wedding so much more special.
Yeah.
So like you don't need to work to achieve that kind of effect. Where if you're getting married in the US, it's like you have to do a lot of things to make it look and feel special other than the actual wedding. Like, I mean, the atmosphere, you know, the flowers, the decorations, the photo booth, the caterer. Like, you have to really go above and beyond to make whatever venue you're at fit you. Yeah. Where I feel like Italy just inadvertently is amazing. So you don't need to do anything. So it kind of takes that pressure off.
That's true. And I also think in American weddings, all the guests expect a certain flow and a certain service and a certain, like even like all the food carts and the bar carts and the desserts and the midnight snacks and the dancing and the flow of like even how bridesmaids and groomsmen are introduced at the reception. Like everyone does a walkout dance. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's not fun or good because all of that's really, really great.
You're right though. There is that expectation.
Yeah.
Where if you're not eloping but doing a destination wedding, it's like all cards are off the table. Like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you just got invited to a wedding in Italy.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. My bestie, Caroline, has found the love of her life, and I haven't met him yet, which I'm just dying to meet him, but I'm so excited. We have dreamt about this since I've known her. I went to this island off of Italy with her because she has some property there, and it's just the most special island that not a lot of people know about. It's very small, very intimate, so beautiful, and there's this castle on this island, and when we went a few years ago together, she was not dating Josh at the time. And she's just like, I want to get married in the castle. And that's just always been her dream. And so we always kind of like, not romanticize the idea, but just like, okay, we can't wait one day. It's going to be so special. And it's happening. And it's happening. And it's happening. And I'm so excited. Yeah. I just can't wait. I cannot wait at all. I'm so happy for her. We just FaceTimed and she showed me some of the dresses she tried on. And I cried after we got off the phone because it was just like the most special thing. That girl deserves the world. And she's found a man that loves her unconditionally, and I love her so much. I can't wait to see her as a wife.
I'm
as a
so
mama.
excited.
I know.
Are you allowed to say what the island is?
It's called Ischia.
Oh, Ischia.
I don't think I say it right.
Okay.
I think the locals call it Ischia.
Oh.
You fly into Naples, and then you take, Caroline, I'm sorry, maybe like a 1-hour ferry.
Yeah.
And then you're on the island.
Wow.
And it's just amazing.
I looked at pictures. It is stunning.
Yeah.
And you guys, guess what?
Okay, guess what?
The best thing has happened. So I go on a trip every year with my friend Caroline also.
Yes.
And
also, oh my gosh, crazy.
I know, but I call her Carol.
Yeah.
But we studied abroad together in college, and we realized that we travel really well together. So we go on a trip every summer. And we're going to Portugal this summer, which we just picked. We just booked our flights and everything. And the dates lined up perfectly so that when our Portugal trip is ending, Carly's going to be at the wedding in Italy. So we're going to meet up somewhere, and we actually need your guys' help. We're considering either Tuscany in Italy because wine country, so beautiful. We've both wanted to go. We've never been. Or Mallorca, Spain. I'm kind of leaning towards Mallorca. If you guys haven't heard of it, I feel like it hasn't been a popular tourist destination for the last few years, but like recently it's gotten really popular, which is a bummer, I'm sure, for all the locals, but it just looks beautiful. It's an island as well, and it is just stunning. Like the cliffs and the water and the restaurants and the hotels. Oh my gosh, it is just so beautiful. And it looks like there's so much to do. Like you could spend a week just on the island. It's not like, some islands you go 1 or 2 days and you're like, okay, I've seen it all. Yeah. It looks like there's a lot to do. So if you guys have been to Mallorca, let us know if you have recommendations.
Oh, it just seems so great. I think we should do it, but you're right.
Yeah.
We should toss it up for a vote. Although I do think we need our beach fill. Yeah. Like we're not going to get our beach fill in Nashville, and we're not going to get our beach fill in Tuscany.
I agree. And I'm a tropical vacation gal. Like if I had to pick mountains or city or beach, I'm always going to pick beach. Yeah. So looking at those pictures of Mallorca, I'm like, yeah.
Wait, you know what we should do is average temperature in Mallorca in June. Take a guess.
Probably really nice.
80 degrees.
Beautiful. Yep. Okay.
It's the sister island to Ibiza. Did you know that?
Really?
I could be totally wrong.
What do you mean sister island?
First of all, I don't know if Ibiza is the name of the island, or if it's a city. I thought it was a city. Okay, so when I was looking at the map, the world's maps, I zoomed out and I saw Ibiza was right next to it. I clicked Ibiza, and then I was trying to look at the name of the actual island, and I didn't see a name anywhere. I just saw Ibiza, but it was on the bottom, so it wasn't like in the middle. So I couldn't figure out the name of that island, but it's right next to Mallorca.
Oh, interesting.
Which I think it's maybe the song by Mike Posner, but I have there's stigma with Ibiza.
Yeah, it's like a party city.
Yeah, and like
really intense
pills.
Party. Yeah. You take pills there.
I get a little nervous around pills. So it's cool to think there's this stunning neighboring island that we can still bop and have so much fun. Yeah. But also really soak up the nature of Spain. And I've never been to Spain. I've been to Italy.
Yeah, I've been to Spain, but I've only been to the city part of it. I've never been to the coast.
Speaking of, Maddie did semester at sea, which I had never heard of until I met her, which sounds like the best experience in the whole wide world. If you could go back and do one thing, it's study abroad or do semester at sea. And I wanted to ask where you guys went.
Yeah. So semester at sea is basically a study abroad program where you're on a boat.
It's just Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Literally is Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. It's about 600 students on a boat. It's a really small cruise ship, and you basically beat bop around the world. When I went, the fall semester was more European, and then the spring was more Asia. But I picked the European one. We started in London. We went to Italy, Greece, Croatia, Spain.
Oh my gosh. And you got off.
Yeah. So every time we got to a location, you get off and you were docked there. It varied, but it was anywhere from like 3 to 5 days.
You're
usually.
lying.
No. And
you got to like properly explore.
Oh,
Oh my gosh,
it
Maddie.
was so cool because you had the option to stay on the ship if you didn't want to spend a lot of money. You could stay on the ship every night. You could go whenever you want, come back, eat meals on the ship, sleep there. Or you could get off the boat, fly to another country. You could do whatever you wanted.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, literally the opportunities were endless. You could go wherever you wanted. You could do whatever you wanted. So me and my friends, we never stayed on the boat. We always went and got an Airbnb or a hotel. We went to different places. Cool. We took trains. Like it was just so much fun. So when you're in country, you don't have class at all. So it's like total free range. But when you're on the boat, you had class every day. So like
so cool.
Yeah. And what was the most cool about it was I learned the most that I learned throughout all of college on semester at sea because I had like a politics class, a religions class, English class, history, and I would learn about each country specifically before we went. So I would learn about like the culture and the people and their history, and then I would go and experience it.
This is the most crazy business idea in the whole entire world.
It's genius.
Like, how did I never hear of this?
I know.
Everything you're saying is like best thing in the world you could do as a college kid.
Literally. It was the best experience. I recommend it to everybody. It was amazing. So after Europe, we went over to Africa. So we went to Morocco and Senegal, and then we crossed the ocean. We went through the Panama Canal. We went to Brazil, and I like stayed on a boat in the Amazon, and then we went to Rio, and then we went to Costa Rica, and then we ended in San Diego. So like my family picked me up in San Diego.
So how long total was it?
It was 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
10 countries in 3 months. It was the absolute best experience of my life. I wish I could do it again now that I'm older because
can you imagine?
At that time I was very much in my party phase. So every country, I think I'm not proud of this, but I do think I threw up in every country.
She made her mark in every country.
Yeah, and like I had never really partied before. Like I'd gone to a private Christian college, and then I'm on this boat with like all these public school party kids. Yeah. And we're out in other countries where drinking is legal for us because I wasn't 21 at the time. I was 20 when I went. Oh. So it was just like this whole new world of being able to go to bars and clubs and stuff that I had never done before. So yeah, did drink a lot.
That makes sense though. You're in college. Like
it was, I mean, that's what everybody did.
You can't avoid it.
But I think
it'd be great to go as a 30-year-old.
Yeah, to go back now, I can't even fathom how amazing that would be. And
Maddie, this is a business idea.
I know. It was so cool because on the ship too, you didn't have Wi-Fi. So you couldn't use your phones. And the way that you contacted people at home was through C-mail. It was like email. So you could write people emails, but you're on the ship. You don't have TV. You don't have cable.
You don't have TV.
No, you don't. So my friend Carol, who I did it with, she brought all the Friends DVDs. So we watched Friends. And that was the first time I'd ever seen Friends. And we watched it all the way through. So that was like our TV. But then, other times you're at class, you're studying, they had a gym, you were tanning. I was the tannest I'd ever been in my entire life. Oh my
gosh, I can't.
Or you're playing cards with people, playing games. Like, it was just the best, most wholesome experience. And yeah, it was so much fun. I recommend it to everybody.
How did you find out about it? Like 600 people from... Is it just California schools?
No, all over the world. There were people from like India on our ship. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's mainly United States, but people can come from wherever.
Do you know how you heard of it, or was it just a friend?
Yeah, so Caroline went to University of San Diego, and that's like their main study abroad program there. Like a lot of people from San Diego go there. So they had all heard of it. I'd never even heard of it until she told me she was going on it. And then I was like, that sounds like fun. I'll come too.
Yeah.
So I literally just like invited myself, and my mom was like, no, it's way too expensive. But I like got a bunch of scholarships and stuff. So it would be like the same price as my regular college, and made it work. And
my gosh. Is it significantly more like from the average tuition?
I think it was around like maybe $40,000.
A semester?
Yeah. Maybe 30.
I wasn't expecting that.
I might be really wrong. Can you Google that?
I can Google anything for you. How much is semester at sea? Also, thinking about only 600 people on the boat, I wonder if it's highly competitive. Like, is it applications that they have to vet? Because from around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. the spring 2025 voyage, not the voyage.
Yeah.
Maddie, this is a business idea for adults because, sorry, pause on the research. I have told Maddie this every time I get home from a wedding, when I'm in a wedding party, I'm always kind of depressed because you make such good friends so quickly with the groomsmen and bridesmaids typically. And I want to feel that again, like in normal life. Like I want to say, hey, I'll meet you at supper in 20 minutes. Or hey, meet at room 404 at 8 p.m. tonight and we're going to have a glass of wine. The summer camp feeling as an adult is only felt at wedding parties. Mm-hmm. So where else can I channel that? Semester at sea.
Yeah.
30-year-olds at sea.
It's definitely, you get the same vibe if you go on a normal cruise, though.
Exactly. You're right. Sorry. You're right. I felt that when I was on a cruise ship and I was like, I love this because we're eating dinner with strangers every night and you make friends with them and you're like, I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah, and you see people in the hall. Yes, you see them at the gym. Yeah, at the pool.
Back at school. Yeah. Like it's such a good feeling. Gosh, is there anything else out there, I wonder?
We need to go on a cruise.
We need to go on a cruise. But I only want to use C-mail. I don't want Wi-Fi. I don't want TVs. Yeah. I want friends on DVD and I want C-mail. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Okay. Spring 2025 voyage. The cost of a semester at sea program ranges between $32,900 for a standard cabin and $36,100 for a premium cabin.
Okay.
That includes tuition, housing, meals, academic field costs, unsure, travel health insurance, and there are additional costs like airfares and visas.
Yeah.
So did you share a room with Carol?
Yeah.
I can't. This is like the best. You had the life.
It was literally like the tiniest little room.
Really?
So small.
Did you get seasick?
Yeah. So the very first day on the trip, oh my gosh, it was awful. So we started in London, like I said, and there was a storm, such a big storm that we had to leave early. So everyone had to like get to the ship early. Mm-hmm. And it was awful. The boat or the ship, I should say. I'll get in trouble if I say boat. It was, like I said, a very small cruise ship. So it wasn't like, big cruise ships, you barely feel it moving. Mm-hmm. You could feel this thing, especially during the storm. I was on the 7th floor and our little window, it would go up like above the water and you'd see it and then it would crash down and go under the water. No. And it was so bad. Like I was laying in my bed and I would roll to one side and roll to the other side. Like the storm was awful. Oh, no. And the next morning we had orientation and I get up and I'm walking in the hall and there's throw up bags everywhere. Everyone's like puking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to get sick? We go to breakfast. I sit down and I'm like, yep, I need to be sick. And I ran to the bathroom, just yacked. I was so seasick.
Oh my gosh.
And I asked my RA, I was like, is this normal? Because the RA had been before. And she's like, yeah, but you get used to it. So it's okay. And I'm like, I'm going to be ill this whole time.
3 months of that.
I remember C-mailing my friends at home and I was like, I've made a grave mistake. Like, I'm going to die here. But that was literally the only time that I got seasick. Other than that, it was great weather and yeah.
What an awful way to start because you're literally awful. Like, I'm doomed.
Yeah. And then for her to tell me like, oh, no, it's always like this. You just get used to it. Yeah. I'm like, there's no way.
So is it not as big as like a Carnival or like a Royal Caribbean cruise ship?
I think it was like 16 floors. It was like pretty small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it.
I know. It was so fun.
I wonder if anybody else listening has been on semester at sea.
Yeah. Like, let us know. Experience. I remember last spring, I think I was on like semester at sea TikTok for some reason. And I was seeing all these people because it's so funny. Like TikTok wasn't a thing. Instagram wasn't really a thing when we went on it. And so seeing all the people like videoing, this is my room, this is my cabin. I'm like, oh my gosh, the memories.
Gosh darn it.
And also in my mind, I'm like, the missed content. Imagine the content I could have gotten.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like doing that even as a job. Then like my pictures are very subpar. But it was a sign of the times. Honestly, I brought a selfie stick.
You didn't?
Yeah, we got one in Europe.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you docked and got to go explore the cities and you learned about them right before. Like, how ideal. People were thinking.
There were times where I feel as though I should not have made it back to the ship, but I did.
Honestly, it's like a Taken like plot. It's a perfect plot for a scary movie.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Honestly, I think everyone in their life should do that just to become a little bit more cultured.
Yeah.
And also like properly academically learn about those places before you go to them. Like,
exactly. That's my number one recommendation to anybody going to college is study abroad if you're able to.
Yeah. I was going to go to Russia. Then they canceled
Russia?
Because my major was Russian.
Oh.
Yeah, and then they suspended all travels to Russia. Understandably.
Classic.
I know. I couldn't meet Putin.
Your major was Russian?
Yeah.
Can you speak Russian?
I used to.
Can you still? Say something.
Privyet.
Talk dirty to me. What'd you say?
Privyet.
What does that mean?
That's hi.
Privyet?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Can you say something else? Can you say I like chocolate?
Oh, I don't know chocolate. Ya le bleu is I love.
Ooh.
Whatever. I don't know I honestly forgot. I haven't used it since 2017.
Wait, why did you major in Russian?
So, when you're in the Air Force ROTC program at the time, nowadays you can have a freaking poli-sci major and you're going to be fine. But at the time, you had to only do medical, science, math, physics, engineering, which, Carly, none of those would have worked, unfortunately, and then a language to make it in the program. And so it was Arabic, Mandarin, or Russian, because those are like, we were not really spying on Mexico. So Spanish would be ideal, but, we don't really need that for the military. So everyone in my program that was doing a language was doing Russian.
Okay.
So I did it. Honestly, I loved it.
Yeah,
that's
really
fascinating.
Cool.
It just kind of stinks that it's not like a vacation country. Like it's not a place we go like Mallorca where it's like a vibe. Yeah. It's beautiful. But there's obviously a lot of tension there right now. And has been for a while. So it stinks I can't use it. But I feel like if I did go, I'd be able to pick it back up again.
I'm sure it would come back to you. Yeah.
I bet I could do it. It was so fun. It was like such a fun program. Very like, as you can imagine, very intimate program because not a lot of people major in Russian or take Russian classes. Yeah. So it was a great relationship with my professor and it was just awesome.
That's so cool.
Very random. Yeah. A lot of people think I'm a spy because of it.
You are.
Yeah. But you are. Okay, wait, we didn't circle back to you about what you would change with your wedding.
Oh, honestly, I didn't have much planned. I had like a venue in mind, but I don't think I would do that still. I always wanted to do pizza at my wedding and then like a charcuterie table as the appetizer, like a big spread. Yeah. And the person I was engaged to just did that at his wedding, so
freaking copycat.
That was Get something your own that we ideas. Had planned together.
He's like, you know what? I have a great idea, honey.
Yeah.
She's like so original.
A charcuterie table. She's like, oh my gosh, genius.
Genius. Yeah.
No, it's okay because I would still do it too. So yeah. I understand.
Would you get married in California, do you think still?
I think I'm with you. I would like to do a destination wedding. I just think everyone in my life is married and we've been to a million like American weddings, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with them. No, if I did get married in the United States, I think it would probably be in Charleston. I really think it's beautiful there. Yeah. But I would love, I think, an Italian wedding too.
Something about like just the backdrop of Italy.
Yeah.
You really don't have to do a lot.
No.
Like flowers and a table.
Yeah. And I don't want like a huge wedding either. Yeah. The only thing that makes me sad about that is grandparents not being able to go.
Yes, that's key.
Yeah, so I don't know. It'll be a game time decision, but...
You know what? I have a solution for that.
What?
Private jet.
Okay, so we have to marry a millionaire, and then that'll work out great.
Trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes.
That's the goal.
That's it. No, but really, private jets solve a lot of problems that I think about. They really do. Like, I'm like, man, I want to bring my dog to Italy. Private jet. Man, I really I don't want to have to take NyQuil to fall asleep. Private jet. Like, everything is private jet, but really the cost is absolutely insane. Like, it is not justifiable unless you're a billionaire, I swear.
Yeah.
Like, $45,000 one way. That's a car.
That is crazy.
One way.
I can't even justify a first class ticket overnight to Europe. I'm like, how nice would it be? Because for Portugal, I am taking a red eye and I have a really hard time sleeping on planes. And my friend who I'm traveling with does great. So she's going to be refreshed. And I'm like, I can't sleep on planes. So then I was looking into a first class and I'm like, it is quadruple the price.
It's so much money. And the worst part is the moment you get off, all that money's out the window.
Yeah.
Literally, it's gone. It's literally for rest. You're paying several grand for rest.
And I'm scared that if I booked it, I still wouldn't be able to sleep.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? You'd be like, I'm horizontal, but I can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. First class. I don't know. We got to get good at those point calculation things.
Yeah.
Where they can transfer.
The system.
But also, if we ever go to Europe again, we'll never be able to not go in first class, I'm sure. We're going to really do ourselves in if we buy one European first class ticket.
I know. Then you're committed for life.
So maybe Emirates, if you're listening.
Okay, should we get into these stories?
I would love nothing more. I cannot wait to hear the tea.
Okay, my first one. My sister got married. 3 different caterers canceled before. Then on the way to pick up her dress, she got a flat tire. The wedding coordinator had a brain aneurysm and couldn't be there for the wedding.
God is literally saying, let's not.
Then
stop.
Yeah. Then the photographer slept through the wedding and was 2 hours late. What time are you getting married?
There were so many stories of the photographer just jacking so much stuff up.
They have a lot of power in a wedding. No, they
really do. And like, typically that's the one vendor everyone cares about.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
Then when she was walking down the aisle, the song she wanted to play would not play no matter what because of technical difficulties. Right after the wedding, most of the guests, including her and her husband, got COVID and they had to cancel their honeymoon to Punta Cana.
This is a nightmare wedding.
Yeah. They were divorced 8 months later.
No, literally that was God being like, please stop.
That's what she said. She said, long story short, pay attention to those signs. God was literally trying to help her and tell her not to do it. It's like when God sends the donkey or whatever to interrupt people. Their path. Oh, I don't know the story. He sends a donkey.
Forget it. Yeah. Forget it. Or you know the imagery where they're out on a boat and they're like, God, why didn't you save me? And he's like, I sent a life raft. Yeah. I sent a helicopter. Yeah. Like, that was me.
It would not abort.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Wow.
I know. I thought that was a good one to start with.
I mean, that is like 8 things.
Literally everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Wow. 8 months. I wonder how long they were dating for.
I know. It's kind of impressive that they even got married because I feel like if you're going to get divorced 8 months later, there's obviously some sort of doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
And then all of these things happen. Yeah. I'm surprised that she wasn't like, you know what? Never mind. I'm calling it.
Yeah, let's just pencil it in for another day. If the officiant had canceled, they couldn't have gotten married.
Yeah.
Physically. Okay, this one is so interesting. Okay, my first one. Oh, girl. I was a bridesmaid in a wedding in Cancun in 2016. We were all out there a few nights before the wedding for a combined bachelor and bachelorette party, which you love that idea.
Yeah, I think that's so fun.
And a groomsman was hooking up with a local there. He invited her out one night during the bachelor and bachelorette party. Long story short, she decided she really didn't like me and she jumped me and started fighting me in the club.
Oh!
I don't know how to fight, so I just laid there.
She possummed it. She dead possummed it. She just played dead.
I feel like that would be my strategy. If I was like getting kidnapped, I would just like play dead. But when a girl is trying to beat you up, you're just like...
Well, you got mugged in college. You didn't do anything.
No, you're right. I literally just laid there. And I army crawled out. Oh, that's so funny. The next day, my hair was so matted from her pulling most of it out, and the other bridesmaids and the bride had to all come help me get my hair entangled. The girl went to jail that night and then had the audacity to ask if she could still come to the wedding.
Oh my gosh.
She went to jail.
Did she go to jail for beating her up or for something else?
Yeah. Crazy.
Jeez. I'd be so mad at that freaking groomsman.
Oh my
for bringing her around.
Literally. The Cancun gal has got to go.
She's got a blast.
My goodness.
Jeez, that's crazy. Okay, my next one. Our florist ended up being addicted to drugs. A few days before our wedding, he calls my planner saying he can't do the wedding anymore because he's on a drug bender and will refund our money. My planner, being the boss lady she is, says absolutely not. You will get those flowers done.
Yes,
she had to take shifts with her assistant and husband to sit with the florist to make sure he got the flowers done, showed up to deliver everything, and not do drugs. My husband and I had no idea when this was happening behind the scenes.
Wow, good.
Right after the ceremony, we went straight to the bridal suite where she had champagne waiting for us. She tells us everything then. We were in shock. The flowers came out so beautiful and we would have never known. Moral of the story, hire a good wedding planner.
That is so funny. They like went in shifts to make sure like micromanage, get your stuff done right now. Let's go. Like that is ultimate. And to not tell her. Why didn't the planner wait until after the whole wedding to tell her? Why right after the ceremony?
Yeah, she was probably just so eager to tell her the tea.
She's like, I have something on my chest I have to get off. We got through the main part.
Yeah.
Like, no, just wait.
Yeah.
That is so funny though. What a champion of a planner to take it upon herself to
literally force this man. He's probably having like withdrawals.
Yeah.
She's like, no.
Itching.
You pluck those lilies.
Honestly, that's also like very loving of her and caring to really be like, I'm coming to your work to make sure you get it done and make sure like you also are healthy. Like, you can make your own personal decisions, but to follow through on someone's wedding as big as this, it's like really cool of her to do.
I know. I feel like if I was a wedding planner and someone told me that, I'd be like, oh,
okay. On to the next.
And she's like, no, you're doing it.
Yeah. Maybe the guy was like so good at his job, but once the drugs hit, it's game over. So
yeah, maybe she really helped him out.
Yeah.
Maybe that was like a turning point for him.
Yeah. This one's very audacious. My second one. My cousin's wedding planner, who was a friend, got very drunk midway through the wedding and they had to throw her out. Then they later found out that the wedding planner did not disperse tips to the vendors like she said she would. She stole all of the tip money and got thrown out of the wedding. Isn't that awful?
She stole the tip money?
She kept it all for herself and didn't disperse it.
Oh my gosh.
You dirty dog. You dirty, dirty dog.
That is crazy.
You shouldn't be collecting all the tips. We got to be Venmoing separately. That's ridiculous.
Well, no, that's her job. You don't want the bride walking around with envelopes, making sure that everyone gets their tips.
True. That's a very good point. What's the wedding planner review system? Is it, oh my gosh, what's that one website that has all of the vendors?
The Knot?
The Knot.
Yeah.
Is that where, because like, how would you hire someone and like know they're reputable aside from word of mouth?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure there's some sort of review.
It's got to be The Knot, right?
Yeah.
Maybe this person really took a gamble to support someone new.
Yeah.
And here we are. Stealing all the money. You thief. You thieves.
Okay, my next one. I was a COVID bride, and to make it worse, we had a destination plan, so things were a little iffy until the last minute. Literally, Kauai opened events 2 weeks before our wedding.
Wow.
It was super stressful still because all of our guests either had to be vaccinated or test negative for COVID to come. Thankfully, though, everyone made it, and we were so excited to finally celebrate with everyone. Thursday, we had our welcome event on the beach, and the vibes were high. Fast forward to Friday, I'm having my makeup and hair trial. All my friends are at the beach and my mom is at the pool, and my dad and sister and cousin went on a hike. Hours go by, I finish my trial, and everyone has been silent all day, which I find weird, so I go to track my mom and sister's location. Both of them are at the ER. I immediately call them both, and they both send me to voicemail, so at this point, I'm panicking because something must be wrong. I call my sister again, and she picks up and is hysterically crying so much that I can barely make out what she's saying. She tells me that while hiking, my dad slipped and fell 40 feet off a cliff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my brain is not really comprehending what is going on. I'm thinking, okay, he broke a leg or something. So I ask, well, is he still going to make it to the wedding? She gets so mad and hangs up on me. So I call my mom, most definitely more than just a broken leg. He ended up with a broken jaw in 2 spots, a fractured ankle, a fractured tibia, and a traumatic brain injury from a double concussion.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was life flighted to Oahu and definitely didn't make it to my wedding, which we still did have. During my entire wedding, he was undergoing a very intensive 7-hour-long jaw reconstruction surgery, which was so stressful to say the least. He thankfully survived and made a full recovery, but it was one of the most traumatic weekends of my family's life, and he was not in any of my wedding photos, which just breaks my heart. I have a baby now, though, and I'm just so glad that he is here to be a grandpa.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that crazy?
You know what? Also, there's no way in the world to properly think through how to handle that. Like, wedding or no wedding, what do we do? Do we stop? Do we go? And then also be thinking about and like grieving the possibility of losing your dad and thinking about your mom and your sister too. It's just a lot. It's so much. Holy
I can't
smokes.
imagine the emotions at the actual ceremony and like the guilt and the grief, also the excitement of getting married and trying to focus on that. Yeah. Because like you paid for this wedding. Like she said she had to still have it. Like there's no way to like get around it.
I mean, everyone traveled there.
Yeah, so you still have to do it. It's just like I can't imagine how overwhelming that was.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a lot. There's no way you can be present.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I'm so glad he's okay though.
Me too. That's 40 feet. Holy crap.
I know.
Okay, this one is absolutely insane.
I'm scared.
I think you definitely should be. I'm confident in that. I'm so excited to see your reaction. I cannot stumble over this one. Okay. My friend was a photographer working a wedding. They couldn't find the groom anywhere for photos, so she went looking for the groom, and when she opened the door, she saw the groom, his mom, and his dad.
I'm scared. I'm scared. What are they doing? I'm so scared.
To my friend's shock, the groom was breastfeeding.
No! No! That's not real. That is not real.
I'm warm. I'm really warm.
I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Me too. The picture that came to my mind when I first read this was awful. I mean, it's like ingrained in my brain. The dad tried to explain that the groom does this when he's anxious.
Oh, okay. That helps. Thank you for explaining that. That's good.
They ended up telling the bride, and she had no idea that this was something her fiancé did. She called off the wedding. Your jaw just went to the floor.
I mean, I'm just thinking logistically. This man, let's assume 25 at least, mom's got to keep the milk producing. That doesn't just stay around. Well, she's got to be pumping.
Well, maybe, okay, she could be another, like a new mom. Like maybe she had a baby at 60 or something. Or maybe he's just sucking and like.
That makes it worse. I'm sorry. That is sexual so abuse.
None of the situations are good.
I'm sorry. You have a wife.
I'm sorry. Milk.
Use her boobs. Also,
there's enough boobs to go around.
I'm stressed.
Oh my gosh.
The dad was there.
What was the dad doing?
Okay, this is weird. This is some weird.
I'm so glad she called off the wedding.
Oh.
It might be there. I fear it's deeper.
Could you imagine though? Your dream man, everything you've ever wanted in your entire life. Harry Styles. Harry Styles converts to a Christian. He's an amazing, he's going to marry you. He's going to be the best. And then you walk in on that. What do you do?
Do you want me to actually think about it?
Yeah.
I think I'd call an emergency therapy meeting and just like, let's hash it out maybe for at least an hour and see how I feel after. But initial reaction, let's postpone and work through this.
I think I'd be out. I don't think I could do
that.
Like
there's nothing that's...
No
context would
help.
help.
That is like foul behavior.
There's no way it's surface level. Like there's no way it's just a surface level action that's happening.
No, I feel like that's some sort of abuse by the parents as well. Some sort of emotional abuse to make it so that's okay. You know, parents should not be making it so that's okay. I am disturbed.
And the fact that the dad was there, you're right. I mean, it's all bad, but the dad. Oh.
And like I said, I'm just assuming that the mom had to keep her milk supply up for years.
Can you keep it up if you don't?
You have to pump. You have to actively.
It'll actually stay if you.
I don't know if it would stay for that
25 years.
I don't know.
I can't. I'm sweating. Like I'm warm. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So you're out if it's Harry Styles.
Yeah, I'm like nauseous right now.
That's
disgusting.
What about the stallion?
No.
The stallion would never.
No, I'm sorry. No one is sucking on their mom's boobs. If you have anything to do with your mom's boobs, you're out.
Honestly, we were even saying that the man that was at the end of his bed, going back and forth, waiting for his mom to give him his clothes from the dryer.
Oh,
we were
out
what
for
episode was
that? The Ick?
It was the Ick, yeah. We were out for that.
Yeah.
Because we're like, mommy's boys are just like, it's too deep. This is another level of disturb.
Yeah. I would be gone and I would be recommending help. I think I would call
911.
CPS.
I would call 911.
Child Abuse Services or whatever.
I'd call 911 for myself too. Like, I fear I'm close to a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fear I'm having a stroke.
Disgusting.
My next one. I'm a wedding videographer and there was a wedding that I was driving to work like normal. I get there and the main photographer is talking to the parents of the bride and they told us there wouldn't be a wedding today because the groom confessed to cheating the night before.
Shoot.
They already paid for everything and they didn't want to lose the money for the very expensive venue, DJ, and food they already paid for. And the bride's dress was so glamorous you would have thought she was Cinderella.
Oh.
The person who was most upset about the wedding not happening was the bride. She still wanted to get married.
Oh.
As we took romantic pictures and videos, even though her parents said they're absolutely not getting married today. It felt like taking pictures for charity. They even had the party because, again, they paid for it with this cheater sitting right next to the parents the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
They even danced all night like nothing ever happened.
I'm so sorry.
Absolutely crazy. And the fact that we later learned they eventually did go through with it and got married.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Hold on. I thought they were calling off the weddings, but they...
So the parents, like, basically told her you're not getting married to him.
So they didn't marry that day?
They didn't get married, but they had the wedding.
Did people know they didn't get married?
I'm not sure if people know. I'm assuming that they didn't have the ceremony.
Wait, I have a question.
But they had the party.
If you don't intend to get married, but you walk down the aisle and the officiant says all the right things, can you not be technically married?
Yeah, because you have to sign.
Oh, you have to sign. Okay.
Yeah, the marriage license.
So they could have completely faked that.
Yeah.
And then just not signed.
Yeah.
I feel like that's impossible to do. Like, that takes so much skill to be able to go through that whole day with such heartbreak and like confusion.
I know. I feel like if I wanted to go through with it because I already spent the money, I would kick him out.
Exactly.
He wouldn't be there.
Exactly.
But it sounded like she still wanted to marry him. And the parents were the ones saying, no, you're not getting married. You're not actually getting married.
Wow.
So she
what
probably
a tough situation. Also, there's no way she's thinking clearly. Not to say that's the wrong decision, but like you're not thinking clearly the night before and the day of your wedding if you want to marry someone.
Yeah.
After that kind of news.
They still got married.
It said they got divorced?
No, they're married.
Oh, they're still married.
Well, I don't know if she knows if they're still married because she was just the videographer.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, how awkward for the photographer and videographer.
Oh my gosh. Do you even like fake smile like the whole day?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like I wouldn't want any pictures.
No. Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah. My next one. My mother-in-law lost her mind 14 days before our wedding. Backstory, my husband and I were together for 5 years before we got engaged. Once we were engaged, everything was a problem. 15 days before we got married, I told her that her friend's 15-year-old son could not come to our 21 and over wedding. I felt like it would be better coming from me since I knew more of the logistics of the wedding than my husband did. To which she hung up on me, lost her mind, and she called me every name under the sun. For example, she called me a privileged, selfish B-word. She also told my husband he was the P word for not telling me that I was a B word.
Wow.
And that my husband only cared about getting married for the money. My parents are pretty wealthy, but my husband and I work and do pretty well for ourselves. She also informed us that she no longer supported us getting married, along with a bunch of other horrible things that no one should ever repeat. We ended up telling her she was only allowed to come to the ceremony and not the reception since neither one of us cared to have her there, but didn't selfishly want to take away the opportunity of watching her son get married away from her. She didn't show up at all. None of her side of the family came either, and no one told us, so we paid for 15 prime rib dinners that no one ate.
Oh my gosh. Send them my way. Would have been food for 2 weeks. That's awful.
I feel like that's the thing that people don't think about with canceling weddings so last minute. It's like you already pay for everything ahead of time. And if it's not family style, like they're paying for your plate of food. Yeah. And that's such a bummer. But I can't believe she didn't even go to the wedding just because she wouldn't let her friend's son come.
I wonder if she feels any sort of regret at all.
I'm sure she will eventually if she doesn't already.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like you just got to push those feelings aside. If you're mad, you can be mad at them after the wedding, but don't miss the wedding because you're never going to get the opportunity back.
Right. I agree. All right. I have a mother-in-law one as well. It says, I have a disastrous wedding story that involves my own. All the red flags were there, and I should have known, but being a young and naive, I completely ignored them. Not only did I marry a mama's boy, but my soon-to-be mother-in-law was absolutely hateful to me. She would always try every way she can to get in between me and my now ex-husband.
Oh, no.
If I would go a day without calling or texting, she would text her son saying, I know she doesn't like me, but she doesn't even reach out, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. She would always find ways to start something. Well, on my wedding day, she decided to ask everyone to raise their hand if they don't think this marriage will last. She took a vote.
What?
She thought she was just being funny, while meanwhile everyone was just distraught about it.
Oh?
Her son never viewed that as something she did wrong, but just as her sense of humor.
Oh, okay. That's not wrong to say who thinks this is going to last at the wedding.
Yeah, not the time, not the place. We didn't last very long. Let's just say he's still unmarried and living with her to this day. I'm in my 30s and happily married.
The mom gets everything she wants.
Yeah, exactly.
She raises a son that's dependent on her, tortures the fiance until she leaves.
Mama's boys are not to be played with.
No. Avoid them at all costs.
Truly.
Honestly.
Where's the line? One thing makes the line crossed.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, and I'm scared I'm going to be one of those moms because, like, the amount of love that I have for my nephew, I'm like, imagine when it's my own.
You will not be. You will not be. No chance. I just don't think you have the psycho in you.
Sadly, I do feel like it stems from moms who aren't receiving love from their husbands. They turn their son into kind of that figure for them.
Hence the nipple.
Hence the breastfeeding.
Gross.
Okay, one more mother-in-law one. My mother-in-law is one of those moms who wants her son to be obsessed with her, and he's not. Thankfully, we get along great now, but originally we did not. The day of my wedding, she showed up in a yellow maxi dress. Great, good, fine. It was better than when she was talking about wearing a denim maxi skirt, denim shirt, and cowboy boots to my non-country wedding. What? It was time for the mother-son dance, and you know that feeling when you could tell that people are looking at you? Well, I turn around, and in walks my mother-in-law in head-to-toe white. White jeans, white top, white cowboy hat, and white boots. I gave her zero reaction because I knew that's what she was looking for. She never apologized, but whatever. Forgive and forget. She still wasn't outdoing my dress.
That is so malicious.
Yeah.
Why do you have to be evil? It is not your day. I just cannot comprehend it. I can't comprehend it.
To wear white.
And you went and changed.
Yeah, you had an outfit change.
And had a walk-in moment in your white denim. No, ma'am.
Not the denim. With the cowboy hat and the cowboy boots, and it's not country.
She probably lost so many people's respect.
Yeah.
Like, she probably thought she was, like, had the power. She probably lost so many people's respect in that
It's not
room.
a good look.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, my next one. My husband forgot his pants. We got married in a remote area where there were no extra pants to be had. He had to wear my dad's pants.
Oh, no.
I'm like picturing them eloping in like a mountaintop like scene, and the dad is literally in his underwear. And the
yeah, what did the dad wear?
Exactly. There were no other pants to be had. Exactly.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's just epic.
My brother-in-law forgot his shoes. My brother-in-law's brother, who was the best man, had to drive 2 hours home on the morning of the wedding. Yeah, he had to wake up at like 5 in the morning and drive home to go get the shoes.
Target or Amazon or anything?
I think he was afraid that my sister would be mad if he didn't have the shoes.
Oh my gosh. 2 hours is so long.
Yeah, there and back. So it was like 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
He woke up at 5 a.m. So they knew the night before?
Yeah, he realized that he didn't have the shoes.
Gosh. Did Paige find out?
Only after.
After. Okay, see, that's the move.
Yeah, do not tell day of.
Oh my gosh. What a good brother.
My next one. I got married in May of 2019, very beautiful spring day, and let me paint you a bit of a backstory before jumping into the catastrophe. I was with my husband when he was getting fitted for his suit and picking out the color and fit he wanted for himself, along with what colors he wanted the groomsmen to wear that was going to complement the bridesmaids' slate blue dresses. I, of course, wanted to go just so I could get a visual. I truly left most of the deciding up to him. Since a lot of my husband's friends lived out of town, it required him to get a certain code from the Men's Warehouse to give to his friends so they could all go to their local store and get fitted for everything and be given the right package with suit, tie, pocket square, and shoes. Come to the day of the wedding, my wedding photographer comes to my bridal suite to start taking pictures of me getting ready. The moment she walks in, she says, "You're never going to guess what happened." At this moment, there are of course a million things running through my brain, but of course I answer the question with, "Oh gosh, lay it on me." In which my photographer responds, "Well, I just came back from shooting pictures with the boys and Justin is wearing the wrong colored suit." She continues with the story that they were all getting in their suits and most of the men were ready, standing in the backyard lining up for groom's pictures, all wearing light gray. And Justin comes out wearing a black suit. I, in that moment, was shocked because here we are about to walk down the aisle in 1 hour and Justin is walking third in line and we have 6 groomsmen and 6 bridesmaids. So he's going to look very odd with my husband in navy blue, 5 people in light gray, and 1 single person right in the middle wearing black.
Incredible.
We essentially changed him to the last person to walk down the aisle so it wouldn't look too odd in the pictures. But after the ceremony, when I'd asked my husband what happened, he was like, "Dang, I wish the photographer didn't even tell you. You probably wouldn't even have noticed."
Honestly, true.
No, you would so notice.
I think you're so, like, hyper-focused.
Yeah.
I mean, depends on their personality,
Maybe.
I guess.
I feel like I would. I think that would stick out like a sore thumb.
If you're a chill bride, you 100% would notice. If you're all, like, frantic and, like, caring about the details, that's so funny.
But she said, "My biggest question was, you guys ordered and paid for these suits 7 months before the wedding. Did you never talk about what color the suits were or even take pictures to send to each other trying it on? Like, how did we never realize that the suit was wrong?" This is when I realized that men are truly wired completely differently than women.
Yeah.
But I would have at least thought my husband would have communicated the color of what it was supposed to be.
It's like you go back and you look at all the past texts and emails and it's like, wow, we really never did discuss color. It was just, try it on the suit. Looked great.
Yeah.
Like, no mention of color.
I've been to a wedding like that where all the bridesmaids had one color and one color was like a different shade. It was like yellow and then hers was kind of like a peachy orange.
Oh, never good.
And it's bad. Like you can tell. It's
never
not good.
Never
And in the pictures, it's just so awkward. And she was one of the maids of honors too. So she was right in the front.
See, that's so American though, is for us to get so worked up about colors our bridesmaids are wearing. Like we get really wrapped up in that. As we should. Like it makes sense. It's like synergy. But it's just, Italy, wear what you want.
Yeah, that's so true. It's just more casual, more lax.
But, like, we're tense about the fact that there's a shade wrong for a dress. Like, that isn't that deep at the end of the day. But it is because all eyes are focused on it and pictures and whatever. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. But
that's true.
It's the classic American stress of a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
All right, strap in for my last one. A few years ago, I was working as a hostess at a wedding. As we were setting up, a woman with a man on her arm came up to us, and she said to make one last change to the table decorations. We thought she was the maid of honor. She spoke about the bride and groom in third person and was openly kissing the man, so we went with her idea. Her idea was to replace the table numbers with pictures of the couple for each year they had known each other. Cute idea. Until you looked closer and saw that a year was missing. A few hours pass, and the bride and groom come over to us before the party to discuss the last details. Guess what? The woman from earlier is the bride, and the man from earlier is not the groom. We were all a little surprised to see her back as a bride because she was openly flirting with that other man. Someone had mentioned this to our boss, and we got the answer to not say anything. A few hours later, the party had started, and I saw the bride kissing the groom's best friend in the hallway.
No!
Yeah. Yes. Not good. About half an hour later, the game Who Is was played, which in what world are we playing this game at a wedding?
Yeah.
There's no games at a wedding. Okay. About a half hour later, the game Who Is was played, where they were given statements to which they had to answer. One of the statements was who would cheat first.
Oh, that's good. Let's send that omen on the freshly married couple. Yeah.
Who's setting the tone at this wedding?
Yeah.
The microphone was quickly taken away from the best friend who had asked that question, and she tried to play it off as a joke. The groom looked like he didn't understand anything, and the atmosphere was very awkward and very sad. A few hours later, I had to use the elevator, and when the doors opened, I saw the bride having a threesome in the elevator.
I'm sorry.
Her husband was nowhere to be seen. He was just dancing with the guests on the dance floor. Eventually, we were able to gather some information. It turns out that she had an affair with a former friend of the man, and when he found out, he ended the relationship, hence the photo and what was missing from the table decoration.
Oh, that's awkward. Why on earth would you do that?
I have no idea. He gave her another chance because otherwise he would not receive an inheritance from his uncle by marriage. The uncle is the godfather of the woman. I wanted to tell the man, but I couldn't. It was a messy wedding. Rattled.
So he had to marry her to get an inheritance, so he didn't really love her? It sounds like they didn't really love each other. So the groom married her because he needed to get an inheritance.
So really, that's why she has no cares in the world, and she's prancing around with another man on her arm.
Yeah, it sounds like they're not marrying for love.
You're not even hiding it.
But that makes more sense because it's like if you were actually excited about getting married, you obviously wouldn't be having threesomes in the elevator where you could run into guests.
What in the world?
That is crazy.
But like for her to go through with the wedding?
Yeah.
Like what's the point?
Maybe they had a deal where he was going to pay her a certain amount of money.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a movie.
That's wild. That is a movie actually. Okay, my last one's really sweet.
Okay. Good.
I was in a friend's wedding years ago, and it was one of the most beautiful weddings. The groom's mom had passed away not too long before the wedding unexpectedly. They were doing speeches, and they had a surprise for the bride and groom. His dad didn't tell anyone, but surprised them with a voicemail his mom had left the groom. It was a simple voicemail from a random day she had called. There was not a dry eye in the house, and his mom said she loved them both and couldn't wait to see them again at the end of the voicemail. The moment reminded me to save voicemails and never discard them.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that so special?
That's so good. What a sweet way to include her.
I know.
I honestly, this is so depressing of me to admit. When I hear a voicemail, because I don't get voicemails very often, but when I do, I never delete them because I'm always like, there's certain like songs where they play a voicemail at the beginning or the end, and it's just really special. Or a video, like there's a TikTok with a voicemail.
Yeah.
That is always my thought when I listen to a voicemail of someone who's very much alive. Like, very much alive in my life.
Yeah.
But I always am thinking about that. Like, it's just such a special token to keep forever.
It really is. They're so special. I'll delete, like, short ones or ones that don't, there's nothing sweet in them.
Yeah.
But if there's any sort of sweetness.
Tell me you love me.
Yeah. Like, I have one from Dawson from Semester at Sea. I have a couple from him that I still have.
Really?
Yeah. But he's on Semester at Sea. He's like, I miss you, babe. I love you. I can't wait to see you.
Oh my gosh.
It's like 2 more weeks or something like that. And it's so special.
That's so special.
You should keep voicemails for sure.
Oh, that's really tender. Yeah.
Not to bring down the mood.
On that note.
But that one was really sweet.
That was sweet. That was a good one to end on. Mm-hmm. I love wedding drama. Never in like breaking people up, but more like, again, like funny hookups. You know, because when you're at a wedding, love is in the air and things happen and connections are sparked. And it's always very fun. So I love weddings.
I love weddings. Like, me too. I will be a +1 to anyone's wedding. I don't care if I know them, if I don't. Yeah. Like, I just love being in that atmosphere. I think it's so fun. Yeah. Ugh, I love it.
The energy is so good.
Yeah.
So much dancing to be had. But happy Galentine's week.
I know. Thank you guys for listening. We hope that you have an amazing Valentine's or Galentine's or just a normal day if you hate Valentine's Day, you know? But we love you, and you can be our Valentine's if you don't have one.
Heck yeah, you can.
And be sure to subscribe if you haven't. If you guys want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that would mean a lot to us. We're trying to amp up our videos.
We would love.
So, yeah, and we also, if you guys listen on Spotify or podcast, but you want to watch more of a video form, you can watch the whole podcast there. Yeah. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.